Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Hi everybody, how you doing? We just got back. We started on a 1 hour errand at about 1 o'clock, I think it was, and it ended up being 2 hours or 3 hours, but we made it. See if anybody has any questions, or do you have something you would like to ask that maybe I can tackle?
Why are you still on Windows XP?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm a believer if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Windows XP is broken!
Not for me. But then I don't use it to the extent maybe some people do. I just basically use...
Try reformatting. It'll be broken.
Well, yeah, because they probably planted that in there, so you'll have to go to the Windows 7, which I also use the Windows 7. To be honest, I'm finding some things in Windows 7 that I like better once I made myself start using it. And the reason I had to start using it, I bought a new laptop, and that's, you can't get XP evidently unless you go out on the internet. So,
Philly Computer wants you to talk about the no internet business tax.
Yeah, I had mentioned a sales tax one time when I was talking, and that would only relate basically if you sell a product. If you sell a product from one state to another state, sometimes the taxing authority is where you're located. So if you sell from the state of Washington to the state of Alaska, you're governed by the laws of the state of Washington. So each state is looking at potentially starting to have a sales tax on internet sales. And when I say internet sales, at least at this point, that would just be if you have a retail product. So if you do a service, then that would not be included unless they write the law in such a way to include it, which they can do. And I would suggest each of you watch both, not only your state, but watch the federal level too, because the federal level is looking for revenues, and unless they elect someone with the thought process of Ron Paul, they'll keep looking for it.
Hit the FN key on my computer to connect to the TeamSpeak.
Joe, is this in any way connected to the Amazon tax?
Could be, because Amazon sells products. So I would say that they would be after a company. Each individual state would probably be after Amazon, because if they sell, Amazon, if I'm correct, is here in Washington. So if they sell to the state of Iowa wants that sales tax. They want that revenue, because they probably look at it as, if I can use the terminology, Amazon stealing sales from the state of Iowa. So that's probably how they would look at it.
You have your own YouTube channel. People can subscribe to. Joe Perillo is your name. Hang on. So they can't hear me right now because they're watching the feed, and they're two different audio sources. What kind of videos would you be putting in your own YouTube channel?
To start with, I'd probably do things that I'm comfortable with. My opinion. I'm always comfortable with my own opinion, and I pretty well stay with it. And someone had asked me a question in one of the media regarding Ron Paul, and the only thing about Ron Paul I'm cautious about is the foreign policy stance. I understand what he's saying, and I don't necessarily disagree with him. But I mentioned the other day, if we get into a scrimmage somewhere, it seems like even when we win, we lose. So I'm not sure those ventures are very good. And Ron Paul's economic stands are right on; they're spot on. And but I would personally like to ask Ron Paul, because a lot of his advertising, he says how he doesn't support earmarks, he doesn't support tax increases, and he doesn't support all these kinds of things, and he hasn't voted for pay raises and that kind of thing. I would like to know just how many pay raises Ron Paul has declined. Voting against them is one thing, but if you really believe that, then you should turn yours back in. Cool? And let me see. The doorbell. Oh, yeah. No, I am not still in Altoona politics other than I vote. So that answered that question. Yeah, that was Wicket heading down the stairs. Someone hit the doorbell. We've talked about doing Route 66 again. We have a son that lives in Texas, and to get from Iowa down to Texas, you in essence have to cross Route 66, and you can cross it at almost any point. But we usually cross it in the state of Missouri and then crisscross it through Oklahoma. But we want to duck back up to Kansas one trip because there's a little spot there we'd like to stop and visit. Do a video on going across Route 66. I'd have to put some pictures together. Maybe I could put like a little slide thing together. But the big thing I want to do before I leave, and I think we're leaving Friday, maybe by Thursday I'll do kind of a quick budget thing for you because budgeting is very important.
Would you recommend that a freelance consultant create a formal sole proprietorship or LLC?
Most businesses, their best start would be a sole proprietorship. Just because ease of accounting, ease of tax preparation. Then if that grows, and then you may want to look at an LLC to try and limit your liability exposure. Sole proprietor, you would leave yourself open for liability suits. But they can also come at you even if you have a corporation. That isn't always total protection, but it's a lot better than no protection at all.
Maybe one more question?
Well, someone's asked if you...
should you W-2 yourself as an owner?
Yeah, as an owner, the only way you would W-2 yourself is if you had a corporation or a LLC or a sub-S corporation. Then you would pay yourself a salary. In addition, you get the earnings. So, but as a sole proprietor, you would complete what they call a Schedule C, and that would flow through to an SE, which is self-employment tax, and that'd be pretty much it. But I would start as a sole proprietor until your business grows, and then obviously talk to tax professionals and legal advice.